Alright guys, welcome to my tutorial on crafting for Final Fantasy XIV. Now, I'm going to go over a very basic intro on how crafting works in this game, so think of it as a primer for people who maybe haven't played the game and are interested in the mechanic, or people that are just starting out and would like a little bit of guidance. So, as you can see, I've started in Ul'dah, and fantastic city. I was there in open beta and decided to stick with it. And yeah, well, not much to say about that, considering that this is a crafting guide. So basically the first thing you want to do when you want to get started in crafting for Final Fantasy XIV is make sure you've got the correct tools. Right now I do not have the correct tools, but I'll equip them in a second. And the second thing you want to do is go to the guild leave counter in your adventurers guild. So in Ul'dah, that's quicksand. I'm not sure what it's called in the other cities because I haven't been there yet, but I'm sure you can find that easily enough. So I'm going to do some blacksmithing at the moment. So what I want to do is equip my crosspin hammer to main hand, and that will allow me to synthesize. Now, because I've gotten some leaves from this city at the quicksand, I was able to basically go straight to Camp Blackbush, I think it's Blackbush, and basically get equipment or get the materials needed to craft some items. So it's really easy to get started. You don't need to go gathering or anything like that. You can just do these leave quests and you'll get some pretty decent skill ups for them the first time you do it. So to start crafting, you open up your menu, and when you've got crafting equipment, you'll have the synthesize option. So I'm going to go ahead and hit synthesize. So obviously at the moment, because it's near the opening of the game, there's a little bit of lag for the menu options still. It's not too bad, it's quite doable. I'll do it like this because we've got a good view that way. And generally you just put items in these boxes here, and then you click main hand. But because I'm doing a quest, I'm going to look at the requested items. Obviously you can't run off with the materials they give you for the quests. They will require you to do it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Dancing Daggers quest. This is basically one of the first level quests. So for these quests, you've got your story text here, vaguely interesting sometimes, and it tells you how far you've progressed. So I've got enough materials for 5 attempts, and I need to make 3 daggers. In this case, each set of materials will make 1 dagger. There are some quests that will ask you to make, a couple of dozen, but don't freak out because those are generally, like in buckles, you make a dozen at a time from 1 set of mats. Your reward, so these quests will reward you with materials that you can continue to craft with, and the recommended class, so you can do this from the start. And it also tells you who to take it to, so I have to take this to Ludravant, who is in that camp over there. So anyway, let's get going. We'll commence. So this will load up and it'll show me the materials. Now bear in mind, this is really good to take note of this, because these are all the materials that you actually need to make one of these for yourself. And this is a rank 6 or a rank 8 gladiator weapon. So at the moment I'm trying to find these mats so I can make one for myself. Fortunately I can't find animal glue, and I need to find someone to make me a dagger grip. But anyway, so we'll click main hand, and it'll come up. Now when you are normally crafting and you put stuff in here, if there's a recipe available, it will come up with this. Now one set of materials often has more than one outcome, particularly things like nuggets and ingots. Often you can make a few different things, which is kind of cool. So bronze dagger in this case, tell us about the item, give it its stats, tell us what we need to repair it. We're going to go ahead and confirm that recipe. And now it tells us what crystals it uses. It uses earth shards. Doesn't really matter because they're providing us with this at the moment. But again, useful information if you want to write down the recipe for future use. So once you start crafting, you'll notice that this little crystal starts. Now as long as that's a solid color, I'm safe to craft basically, or pick one of these options. Now standard synthesis is the easiest and the highest level of success. Now you see that shone bright. There was a flare, that means I was successful, and it will also come up in the chat log. So the idea is to get the quality up to 100%. Now that was a failure, so you'll see the progress didn't go up very much, but the durability dropped by a lot. If that durability gets down to 0, the item will break and I will lose all those items and get very minimal experience. So that's the very, very basics. Now, at the moment, you can see quality is going up by very little. Progress is going up by about 20%. Now, that's a normal hit. Now, with standard synthesis, I can get a crit. Hopefully, I'll get a crit sometime. And if you get a critical success, your quality will actually go up by a dramatically larger amount. That was a crit right there. So you can see the quality went up by 8 in that one instead. There wasn't a big difference in your progress, but we'll get to quality later. So you might notice it starts to change color. That can basically start to flash. If that ever starts to flash, then what you want to do is wait. And the sandstorm's coming, and that's going to take away the nice view. So there we go. Again, a critical. Again, you can see the quality is quite high now. Because I'm close and I've got good durability, I'm going to try bold synthesis. This gives you very little progress, but it gives you, like, if it succeeds, it will always give you good quality. So if you see here, yep, see that, oh, it didn't give me a very good quality. Anyway, reached 100%, so now I want to finish it. And voila, I've made a dagger, and so it updates the quest text there. So what I'll quickly do now, instead of doing my quests in front of you on a video, I'll show you some just items that I can make by myself. So if I take copper ore, I think it's 4 just to make a nugget, or 12 nuggets, main hand. Hopefully I've got a fire crystal. I think I've got a fire crystal, yes. Alright, so I can make copper nuggets here. Confirm recipe. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and focus on quality in this one instead of just getting it done for the purposes of the video. And it might mean I fail, but hopefully I'll be able to show you some of the other mechanics. Right, here we go. So what I've decided to do, or what I found to be good for me, is to do standard synthesis and try and get it halfway up or so. Great, that was a critical, so I got good quality in that one. So see this here, the higher we get this, the more likely we have of a HQ synthesis, which in this instance would result in me getting more nuggets out of the materials I've got. But with items, it would mean better quality items. Now, I've had a few failures here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait. Now, that lets you try and stabilize the material. Now, I might just be being, picky here, because some people say you don't need to do that unless it's flashing, but if I get 1 or 2 failures, I'll do that. Anyway, so it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to go for the quality synth here, because my durability is already quite low, and doing a bold synthesis is quite risky. See, I've broken that again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to gamble, I'm going to wait, I'm going to try rapid synthesis. Now this has a focus on completing it, so this will give me a much higher completion rate than any of the other options, but it will give me almost no quality. So you see there, that gave me 22%, which is higher in general than standard synth will get. So I'll try and do that again because I just want to finish it. No, that broke. Alright, so I'm going to wait because now I'm getting a little bit worried. I'm going to break this and it's not going to work. And I really, really, really want it to work. So I'm going to try standard. So you might, there we go, it broke. So that was a failure. Durability decrease by 20, which means it failed. So let's have one more shot, I think. This time I'll try and make a bronze nugget, because I just realized I need those and I should have enough stuff to make a bronze nugget. So 3 of those, and we need some tin ore. I'm sure I got some tin ore somewhere. Fortunately, there's no sort function on this yet, so hopefully that will be changed. But for the moment, unfortunately, it's all manual, which I know will piss some people off. I'm sure... Oh wait, no, tin ore is a reward I haven't collected yet. So let's instead, let's chuck in 5 of these. Or was it 3? It's 3. I wanted 3. Damn. Okay, cool. So let's get rid of this. So you can always play with your recipes. If you're the sort of person that would like to try and find recipes themselves, you can always chuck stuff in and see if it makes anything. Nothing can be made with 4 ingots. So let's remove another one. Main hand. Nothing with 3. It must be 2. Alright, I must have forgotten what the recipe is, because I was sure I could make some. Wait, I've got the different stuff equipped. Anyway, look, let's just clear all this. This is getting sloppy. This is not a professional video like I wanted. Let's put in some nuggets. I'm sure I can do something with nuggets. I think I might need 3 though. Oh no, there we go. Look, I can make a copper gorge hook. Alright, so I can start making stuff to put together a fishing rod. But I know if I add another nugget... No. This is getting really sloppy. Sloppy. I'm sorry, guys. Let's add in the other nugget. So as you can see, the menu lag is still kind of annoying, I guess. There we go. Hopefully that'll make what I'm after. It's not that again. Maybe it's 4 then. Sorry, it's been a while since I used copper nuggets. Oh, maybe it's 5. I'm sure there's some way to make nuggets into ingots. There we go. 5 nuggets make a copper ingot. Alright, let's do this. Let's not waste this material. So this particular recipe uses fire shards, which are a lot more common, so it's a lot easier to craft these. Now the good thing is to bear in mind that it takes 4 ore to make 12 nuggets, and then it takes 6 nuggets to make a copper ingot, so it's not the worst. Like, it doesn't exponentially require more materials the higher you go necessarily, which is good. So far so good. Got a success there. So as you can see, crafting isn't the simple set and forget that it is in most other MMOs. It's probably most like EQ2 from what I can tell. I haven't played that myself, but that's the feedback I get from others that have been playing it. So now, see, my quality is quite low here, so nothing special is really going to happen. But this time it's working out a little bit better in that if I can get one more standard synth without too many more failures, I'll be able to start using bold to just try and increase the quality later on. Now, when I'm a higher rank and my success rate is much higher, I could potentially look at doing bold synthesis at a much earlier time and hopefully make sure my quality goes up. See, now that was a critical for bold and my quality went up by 21, so let's pull that off again hopefully. So yeah, I guess the basics are you've got your normal success, you've got your failure, and then you've got your critical. See, your durability hit took a huge hit there. It's a big risk using the bold synthesis, and I recommend sticking with standard for leveling up. So I'm going to finish that, and someone's going to kill something in front of me. Great. Doesn't he not realise he's in the camera shot? So, and as you can see, you get your experience points for the class, and you get your job points, which is fantastic. So you can progress your character quite well, and if you run up to quests that are quite difficult, it's very easy to go and do some crafting quests, get a physical level or 2 up, and increase your health and strength and all sort of stuff, and go back and kick their ass after you've done some blacksmithing. So cool guys, thanks for watching, and I'll be putting up a combat video shortly as well as anything else I think of. So yeah, cheers.